This week has been pretty crazy for Deadlock news. We got a ton of information about some new features and quality of life updates that could be coming to the next Deadlock update. If you've been wanting Deadlock to feel like a more finished and polished experience, I have good news for you in this video. So make sure to stay tuned in until the end of the video because I'm going to be talking about things like brand new comeback mechanics related to the jungle camps found around the map, an update on a possible console release for Deadlock, leaked files for match intros and player introductions at the beginning of games, and the possibility that we might be getting play of the game highlights at the end of every single game of Deadlock. This game just keeps getting better and better and the community keeps growing, so make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any Deadlock news and updates going forward. Let's start by going over a possible update to jungle camps and a new comeback mechanic related to those camps for when you're losing a game. The Deadlock news account known as Deadlock UA recently put out this tweet: "Sick Denizen, when your team is losing, tier 3 creeps start to fall ill. Hitting a creep's critical point weakens it, its spirit and bullet resistance decreases, and its fire rate drops." The concept shown in this image is just visual to demonstrate what it would look like. So if your team is losing a game by a pretty wide soul margin, tier 3 creeps will begin to fall ill, allowing your team to kill them quickly. This allows your team to get a large chunk of souls off these jungle camps to possibly get enough souls to get back into the game. There was a little bit of controversy surrounding this topic though. Deadlock Project 8, which is another Deadlock news account on Twitter, replied to the original tweet by saying that this is information from November. They were still there when the Hidden King patron got leaked, but they could have been deleted. They also attached an image of a statement from a different leaker going over this topic. It's a little bit hard to read, but this is basically what it says. Trash creeps, library creeps, and chest creeps, all of that exists, but it's unclear when that will move into active testing, since these are more like cosmetic changes. He also didn't confirm that the sick creeps exist, but it is a fact that many players gave feedback that the creeps are too strong, and they might already be looking for ways to address that. So this is basically saying that there could be cosmetic changes coming to jungle camps based on where they're located on the map. We could see the jungle camp found by the library dressed up as librarians, or the jungle camps just found in the middle of the streets, dressed more to look like trash creeps. They also clarified that when this was first leaked, the sick creeps didn't actually exist yet, but many players were giving feedback that the creeps were too strong. So this was a possibility that was on the table to try and make the creeps less strong. We did see some balancing adjustments to the creeps back in December, so if this leak is truly from November, this sick creep theory could be completely off the table now. So going forward, the devs could have thrown this idea in the trash can already, or it's still being developed and we could see it in the game sometime in the future. Now let's move on to a topic that I think a lot of people are interested in. As Deadlock continues to grow and becomes a bigger and bigger game, there's going to be people that just don't have access to play it as they are on console. So the big question for those people is, will Deadlock ever come to consoles? And we did get some news exactly on that question. Once again, Deadlock Project 8 reported that Gabe Follower, a pretty reliable leaker when it comes to Valve titles, had said that they checked the latest Deadlock updates and found that the developers added a unused windowed mode for co-op full screen. Perhaps this is related to Steam machines or consoles. We do know that Deadlock will most definitely come to the new Steam machine later this year when it releases, but we don't know quite yet if Deadlock will release on consoles like the PS5 and Xbox Series X. This line of code being added to the files kind of implies that it could be. Why would Valve add a co-op full screen mode if the game was going to stay on PC? Could they be trying to give some nostalgia to console players and allow them to do some couch co-op or split screen for Deadlock? In my opinion, this really wouldn't work for the normal Deadlock mode as it might just be too competitive and wouldn't really work in a split screen mode. But if Deadlock was going to turn more into an arcade hero shooter with other modes like they've done with Street Brawl, I could see split screen working for casual gamers just wanting to get some Street Brawl games in with their friends. I'm sure there are a lot of fans of Deadlock on consoles who have never played the game before, who just watch their favorite streamers or content creators play the game and think it looks really fun. The question still stands if Deadlock will ever come to true consoles like PS5 or the Xbox, but this line of code being added to the files may give console players that little bit of hope. Now let's move on and talk about some fun quality of life updates that we could actually see in the game with the next update. Deadlock Intel on Twitter reported via DirtKiller23 that leftover assets for match intros where 6 cards would reveal your team's roster was also found in the game files. This is what the animation looks like for the card when it flips over, revealing what hero you're going to play in that game. If you played Deadlock before the Old Gods and New Blood update, you'd know that there used to actually be an in-game lobby where all 12 players in the game would stand facing each other, waiting for the game to load. After the Old Gods and New Blood update, you kind of just load right into the game. But they did add the hero introduction screens where it shows you what hero you're going to be playing before the game even starts. This is a fan-made concept for what a full hero introduction screen might look like if it were to come to the full game. It's hard to say if this was a completely scrapped idea, or if the Deadlock devs are still working on polishing this quality of life feature, but this is definitely something that could be coming to the next Deadlock update. As long as it doesn't increase load times, I think it's a good thing to have in the game, as it just gives it more personality, and just adds to the theme of the game overall. So that was a player or hero introduction at the beginning of the game, but we did also get some leaked information about a quality of life update for the end of the game as well, and that is the play of the game system or player highlights. If you've ever played a hero shooter like Overwatch or Marvel Rivals, you know that a little cutscene plays at the end of the game, showcasing the hero that performed the best or had the best overall highlight of that game. Most of the time, this little cutscene is fully customizable and cosmetic, allowing players to change their highlight intro or MVP intro for each individual hero. With the Old Gods and New Blood update, we did get some changes to the end of match screen, showcasing the MVP of the game and showcasing other heroes that also performed well on both teams. But it looks like the devs might take this one step further. Multiple Deadlock news accounts like Deadlock UA and Deadlock Intel both reported that a play of the game is coming to Deadlock. Valve is currently working on a 20-second end of match highlight reel to show off your craziest plays. This is a look at the files and how all this information was gathered. As you can see, there's a lot of lines of code that say play of the game, with lead up times, overall lengths, HUD options, and more. And this is a look at what the text might look like when it appears on screen when a player gets the play of the game. It will use that individual hero's personalized text to display their name before playing the highlight reel. It will also display the individual player's name to everyone in the lobby, so you know who truly earned this highlight reel. A user by the name of Gigwatt made a pretty good point, saying that it's not going to come out because play of the game is patented by Blizzard, with a link showcasing that patent. If you didn't know, Blizzard actually does have a patent on the play of the game system, and it goes over how they determine play of the game based on gameplay events, and it is an official US patent. But Deadlock UA responded by saying that Valve has extensive experience working with the Source 2 engine. They could implement play of the game as an automated demo editing system, which is technically very different from the way it works in Overwatch, which runs on Blizzard's proprietary engine. So if Valve can differentiate the system enough, they could add it to the game as a play of the game system. If it doesn't determine the play of the game based on gameplay events the same way that Blizzard's does, and uses a demo editing system built into the Source 2 engine, this is definitely something they could get away with. So as always, let me know down in the comments what you think of all the news in this video. Do you think we're going to get any changes to jungle camps like comeback mechanics, or are we just going to get some cosmetic changes? Do you think Deadlock has the possibility of coming to consoles, with the addition of co-op full screen being added to the files? And do you think we're going to get quality of life updates like hero introductions, and a play of the game or highlight system at the end of games? We could see all of this coming to a Deadlock update very soon, and I'll be sure to update all of you if that happens. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments, and make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any Deadlock news and updates going forward. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Later.